Okay, welcome into Another Dooley Noted Podcast for a Monday. And I'm just doing my Dooley Palooza tour, so I actually taped this one. Full disclosure, we don't try to fool anybody. We taped an episode here just because we wanted to have something for you on Monday, even though I am in Pensacola right now. Hopefully I'm in Pensacola. If I'm not in Pensacola, something's gone terribly wrong. But looking forward to talking to the Gator fans. And I know I'll get a lot of questions about how good certain players I think are going to be and who the stars are going to be. And I will say this is a team that I think it's brimming with a weird confidence. It's like a confidence that is not built on some of the things they did last year. And again, whether it's offense or defense, defense played bad, offense, most of those guys left, the guys that were stars, but there's still a kind of it's a weird confidence in that that they feel like they're putting the work in and they're going to be able to get it done. I don't know who the stars are going to be. I do know that it's a very negative fan base right now and it needs to kind of calm down. Usually in talking season, as I call it, or as Steve Spurrier coined it many years ago, all the fan bases are happy. Everybody is thrilled. You either got a new coach and fired the last one, so everybody's happy about that, or you've got a good coach who's there, or somewhere you can figure a path to a great season. And that's the way it is with Florida. We're going to talk about scheduling a little bit later, but this year's schedule we've talked about is weird in that they have Alabama early, at home, but usually when you have Tennessee and FSU as home games, that's great for the season ticket package. This, I'm not sure it is with where those programs are, but then you've got these tough games away from home. I know the over-under for Florida is 9 wins. I can see them easily going over it. I can also see them falling short of 9 wins. 9 wins seems right about right. But the fan base has been kind of negative for a fan base that, has reasons for optimism. But I also get it. I think your optimism would be cautious if nothing else, because this team you're not sure about, but the negativity is not helping anything. And whether it's, and I preach this all the time, and nobody has to listen. It's a free country. You can't scream fire in a crowded movie theater, but you can do scream fire, stand outside, I guess, and do it. But you don't have to get a COVID shot, but you're part of the problem. But you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to be part of the problem sometimes. All right. So anyway, I almost lost my train of thought here. So you can be negative if you want, but I mean, what is the point? How does it ever help your program? How does it ever help your team? How does it ever help your coaches to be negative? There's a lot of negativity about John Hevesy because Florida's recruiting on the offensive line has not been up to snuff, and it's accurate. Now, that said, sometimes when you're running a passing offense, which is what Dan Mullen has turned to and did with Kyle Trask, obviously, it's harder to get those offensive linemen to come in because they like to run block. They want to blow people off the ball instead of backpedaling all the time, not realizing that in the NFL, that's the way they move the ball. And if you are a really good pass blocker, you're going to make a lot of money. You got to think that way. But there's no question that they've slipped a little bit in that part of the recruiting. But I don't always blame the position coach. I mean, everybody is part of the recruiting process, including the head coach, including the athletic director and what he sets up for them. And I know I just don't see the point in being down on an offensive line coach when their offense was one of the best offenses in the country last year. Now, you're going to say, well, it's all because of Pitts and Tony. Well, they pass blocked pretty good. They didn't run block great. They're going to have to run block great this year. They said they were going to run block better this year, and then everything happened, COVID and everything else, and people didn't hit as much. But I still see the point. Look, if John Hevesy doesn't get it done this year, maybe he does get fired. But I always liked John. Great part of Urban Meyer's staff. But it's the same thing with Todd Grantham. Everybody's like, Well, our defense was so bad. Everybody's defense was bad. I don't know how many times I can say that. Everybody had bad defense. Alabama had bad defense. LSU had the worst defense. It was unbelievable how bad they were on defense with lockdown corners. They couldn't cover anybody. They had the wrong coach in there. And that's where a lot of people go, that's our problem. It's Todd Grantham. If we get rid of him, we'll go back to being good. Oh, you mean like 2 years ago when you were ninth in the country in defense and he was the coach? Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He just it was just a struggle for every defense, and it was a struggle for everybody. Now, again, if they come out and they give up 50 to Alabama, and they can't stop Tennessee and Josh Heupel, and they can't stop LSU with Max Johnson for the second year in a row, and they're struggling defensively again, yeah, that's when I think you need to make a move. I mean, Florida had a chance to bring in a couple of guys, and Robinson from South Carolina, and of course Charlie Strong, and as kind of co-coordinators, and they didn't feel comfortable in both cases with Todd Grantham. Todd can be a little brazen, and I think that it's kind of all the eggs are in his basket. You know, you bring in two new defensive back coaches. One was let go because of some NCAA issues that got Dan Mullen in trouble. One was just let go because it was a bad deal. The secondary was so bad last year. The safeties were terrible last year. So now you got two new coaches to coach your secondary. All the eggs are in your basket. You've decided, I'm going to do this without Charlie Strong. I'm going to do it without Travarius Robinson. Okay, let's see what you got. But I would rather wait until I saw what they had. That's just me. I'm kind of a show me guy. Like when people say, we're going to be better on the offensive line. Are you? I heard that from Jim McElwain one time before his third and final year. He raved all summer about his offensive line. We're going to be awesome. First game against Michigan, Arlington, Texas. Didn't go well. Didn't go well at all. They got pushed all over the field. And they got destroyed, and it turned out their offensive line wasn't any good. He had totally misread them, or his coaches had misread them. I don't think you're going to hear that from Florida coaches until they do something, and I appreciate that. You shouldn't hear it from them. So who are the stars going to be? That's the thing. Yeah, I'd rather wait and see than try to predict. There's guys I really like on this team that I think are really good, like Kaiir Elam. I love Dameon Pierce. Talked about that on Friday. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I would just say, and again, this is a me thing, and I'm not trying to be preachy, but at least save your negativity until they play a game. You know, just one game. Okay. And again, if they go out and they beat FAU 31-14, you're going to be all over this team. You're going to be upset. Win by one, is one of my mottos. But the bottom line is first games, as long as you win them, and especially against teams that are a little bit, you don't have the players you do, all you got to do is win the game and figure things out. And then you go to the second game, you go down to USF, you're going to have a pro Gator crowd down there, and you got to figure things out again. Figure it out a little bit more. Might have turned my phone off before we came here. Just let it go. Let all that stuff go. Just win those two games. Try to come out of them healthy. Figure things out. Who are our best guys on defense? Who are our best guys? Who are our guys we can count on offense? Can we count on Jacob Copeland? We gave him number one. Is he a number one player? And that's the thing. Not everybody that gets a number one jersey is a number one player. I mean, you get that jersey as an honor. For the most part, I was trying to think. Keywan wore one. He was about as good as they came. And, of course, Kadarius. Brenton Cox, who I think is going to have a big year this year. And overcame a lot, dealt with a lot. So, at any rate, who the stars are going to be is a real question we all are going to try to figure out as we go forward in this camp, Gator starting camp Friday. And it's just going to be, but it's going to be an interesting season. I'm losing my mind wanting to get there, counting days. Like, I just want the days to end. Isn't it funny in the summer, when you were a kid, you never wanted summer to end. You wanted it to go on forever. Come on. Oh my gosh, it's already August. We have to go back to school soon. And then when you get to be an old man like me and a football nut, you're like, it's just August. Come on, August, what is it today? August 9th? Let's go. Let's go. We're not that far away from having games. So today we got a lot of things that we're going to do. We got a great special guest today, the great Ed Chester, All-American at Florida, defensive tackle. And, of course, everybody knows the story about him getting hurt and see his career being over. We'll talk a little bit about that and what he sees with the Gators and what he's doing now. Also, of course, we've got the Adams Ribco Gator of the Weekend. Got an interesting one for you today. We've already picked it, our Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks winner is going to be announced today, okay? And so I know you guys are all nervous about it. We'll see where we go there. We've also got, of course, handle off 3 things. I'm having fun. I've been having some fun with all these. And this is a funny thing. In the Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack, you're going to love today. I did do this in Fridays on WRUF.com. I mentioned it, but we're going to do it again, okay? And then this, that, and the other, right? We still got to do this, that, and the other. It's a Monday. So we got a lot of stuff to get to. So what we'll do right now is take a break. We'll come back and be joined by Ed Chester, the great Ed Chester. Love that guy, man. What a great player he was. When we return on Another Dooley Noted Podcast. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam's Ribco To Go. What gave you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Ribco To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
This is Pat Dooley encouraging you to become a member of the Gainesville Quarterback Club, the oldest organization anywhere dedicated to Gator football. The club meets weekly during football season with an impressive list of speakers, including Bobby Stoops, Phil Fulmer, Steve Spurrier this year. Meetings are held at the Best Western Gateway Grand, and they have a special offer for you. The first 3 meetings you can attend for only $100. Believe me, this is a bargain, and trust me, you'll have a good time. Get off the bench, and it's time to score for the Gators by joining the Gainesville Quarterback Club.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shakow and Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shakow and Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
All right, it is welcome back to Another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Shackow and Mercandani studios. And really appreciate our next guest joining us, one of the great players in Florida history, defensive tackle. And, of course, we all know his story about his knee, but that was a sad story as well. But he's done so well. And when I was doing the look back to the 96 team, the picture he sent me of him and his kids and everything was just, oh, God, it just made me so happy to see Ed Chester. And Ed Chester joins us right now. We appreciate him coming in here on the Shackow Mercandani studio. And Ed, how have you been?
I've been doing pretty good. I'm blessed, can't complain. Enjoying life.
Are you still doing the personal trainer stuff?
Yes, sir.
So you got to basically have a gym or?
So right now I'm at a personal training studio, Mission Fitness, owned by Kim Snow, and I'm an independent trainer, independent contractor, and I train clients out of there.
How did you get into that? What made you want to do that?
Actually, my wife found a job. I was living in Gainesville while she was going to school down here in St. Pete. And as we all know, that's a long distance for a husband and wife to be. So the job I was in was pharmaceutical sales. Wasn't for me. So I quit that and I was looking for something. She found the job and I lucked out that the gentleman reviewing the applications was a UF alum that I'd actually met before. And he's like, hey, come on down. And I want you as one of my personal trainers. And that's where it started. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. And that's the lesson you can tell people is when you go to Florida, this is a good recruiting tool. There's so many people, the Gator Nations everywhere, that you're going to end up working for or working with or being a boss of somebody that's probably a Gator.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I run into Gators every day. In all walks of life. So, Gator Nation is very strong and very big.
Well, let's go back to when you came out of high school and why you chose the University of Florida in the first place.
I came to the University of Florida right after my visit to Georgia, which I did commit to. Thankfully, he committed to that one. But it was a perfect mix for school and athletics and being also, for me, a perfect distance from the house for my parents. You could truly tell that Florida was up and coming, not up and coming. We'd already been doing well, but, we hadn't reached our true potential yet. And then you throw the academics on top of it. And it was just, I couldn't beat that fit.
What was it like for you to be part of that 96 team and to win that first national championship?
Absolutely amazing. God put me in the right place at the right time. That team was loaded with individuals. We really didn't have a weak point. So to be able to play with guys that were very good, very motivated, great teammates who we all pushed each other in practice to be better. There was no, okay, we're good enough. It was always pushing yourself to get better and make each other better, no matter if you're first string or third string. It was just an amazing year, amazing group of guys.
What are you thinking when they bring in Bobby Stoops? And I mean, how aware of you of what his reputation was and what he was going to be able to do? And how did you get along with him?
I honestly didn't know that much about him. Obviously, I heard his name, but didn't know that much about him. At that point in time, I was going into my, second year of playing, and I was still wet behind the ears. So I was trying to figure out other stuff besides keeping up with what he had been doing in other schools. But from day one, he set the tone and instantly got my respect. Instantly, I was bought into whatever he had to say because the way he carried himself, the way he demanded our respect, but also gave it. You give your best, we're going to go after, we're going to attack, we're going to hit them hard. We're not giving up an inch. And then on top of it, he was very demanding on what he required of us, which he should be. And it was it was perfect. From day one, I loved it.
Yeah, I remember one practice. This is back in the days when we could go to practice. Now can't do that anymore. But I think it was Tony George he was getting on. He was like, "Tony, that's why I can't put you in the game. I can't play you." And it was so loud, and all the media boys are writing it down. That's a good quote. I'll use that one. And then Bobby afterwards, when he read it in the paper the next day, he went to Tony and apologized, and he told the media guys that I shouldn't say things like that in front of you. And there was that, I'm going to discipline you, but I still respect you kind of thing.
Yes, definitely. And to see him when he came in, to see him treat someone like Tony, who was my year, as well as the juniors and seniors above us, and hold us all to the same standard. There's no favorites. You better get out there and play. But then behind closed, off the field, what we didn't see, or what people didn't see, is how all of our coaches, including him, treated us as young men. And like I said, they got the respect because they gave it.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about how the rivalries are so different now for you. In those days, it was FSU and it was Tennessee. And now it's kind of LSU, which has become a huge rival. Tennessee and FSU are kind of afterthoughts. So it's kind of weird how cyclical that part of it has been.
Yeah, definitely it's changed quite a bit from when we were there. And that's, like I said, the only constant is change. So it's going to change down the road. And I'm sure, we'll be back to Florida State. Well, hopefully not be back to Florida State being our tough rival. But it'll come around again. It'll switch. But LSU right now, we need to go in and wreck shop and hopefully get it back on our side.
Yeah, think about the 96 LSU game. I think you guys won like 55-16 or something. I mean, you used to just blow them out all the time.
LSU, we got on them. I mean, our offense was great. And I will say this, their offensive line, and along with Tennessee's at that time, were two of the toughest guys. So I thoroughly enjoyed playing them. I thoroughly enjoyed beating them, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing them. So it was, the whole Death Valley thing, doesn't faze me. But they had some great guys to play against and, obviously some great offensive players. We were just better.
I always thought Phil Fulmer had the best quote about the Swamp when he said, the reason it's such a tough place to play is because they have good players. And that's, to me, what Death Valley, everybody said, oh, Death Valley's so hard. Not when they weren't any good. It wasn't hard for anybody to play there. You go there and they'd leave, and it was no big deal. But when they got good, obviously it was a hard place to play. So that goes back to how it works out. Let's move ahead to 98. And that defense, to me, was maybe the best in Florida history. And obviously you got cut short with a knee injury. But even with, you had everywhere you looked, there were just incredible players. It's Javon and Tony and all these guys. I always thought that was the best defense Florida had.
That year was amazing, and to see, a lot of my freshman brothers, coming into their own, and really all of us playing well. We were seasoned now. We had been through a lot of battles, and we were a great team, and the class behind us was even better in some aspects. So to see everybody come together and play hard and play up to their abilities was amazing. And our defense was really good that year. And we've had some great defenses, but I definitely say that one was top notch.
It definitely was. When did you decide to take out the insurance policy that year?
It was beginning of that season. And I was a typical stupid college kid. I was dragging my feet by getting it. Coach Broadway told me to get it. And I was like, yeah, I'll get it.
Because you were projected to be a first rounder, right?
Yeah, that was one of the projections. So, eventually Broadway yelled at me enough, so I went in and got it done. And thank the Lord he did.
Yeah, that had to be a devastating moment for you. But when you get hurt like that, of course, it was against LSU, you never know how bad it is, or did you immediately know how bad it was?
I was told on the field immediately I was probably done. I asked.
Really?
I've had some injuries throughout my life, and, some pretty bad, and didn't know how bad it was, so I flat out asked. And Dr. Delicato, to his credit, which he did exactly what I wanted, he looked at me and told me, "You're probably done." And I was like, all right. So for me, I needed that so I could start figuring out in my mind what I needed to do. So.
Yeah, so the injury was you dislocated the kneecap, correct? And there was nerve damage?
So the knee itself dislocated and hyperextended. So basically bent the opposite direction it's supposed to. And I tore 3 of the 4 ligaments in there along with the nerve damage. The ligaments aren't that big of a deal. It's the nerve damage that was the killer, so to speak. But I would say this, after hearing while I'm getting the x-rays and stuff done to see exactly what I did, they told me that, hey, there's a possibility we might have to remove the leg from the knee down.
Wow.
And I tell you this, after hearing that and then hearing, oh, no, we don't because the artery wasn't blocked off or pinched, everything was bonus after that. I didn't care what happened. So it truly puts things in perspective when stuff like that happens. Like, football was no longer important. I wanted to keep my leg. I wanted to be able to play with my kids without having a prosthesis. So, it was definitely changed perspective on things immediately.
Yeah, I think that's what Alex Smith, there was some talk that he might lose a leg. And I think Mackenzie Milton, too, both those quarterbacks, too. Have you ever watched that play where you got hurt?
No. I've only had one opportunity to watch it. And it was probably about 3 months after the injury. And I walked into the training room and CP Chris Patrick immediately stopped me. He's like, "Don't move." It's like, I thought I was in trouble. I was like, okay, I'm not moving. He says, turn it off. They were watching it. He and the students were watching it. And he looked at me, he said, "Never watch that play." I was like, no problem. And I haven't.
Yeah. I don't think I want to watch it either. I never want to watch anybody get hurt like that. So you get the $1 million, and that's tax-free, right?
Yeah, it's Lloyd's of London cut it to me. I paid my parents back for paying premiums on it. They didn't want it, but I wanted to do that for closure, and then use it to start my life off.
So you got a actual check for $1 million.
No, I was smart enough to not actually have that check in my hand. That probably wouldn't have gone well for a guy my age. Luckily, my financial planner at the time, Keith Lerner, great dude. He helped me tremendously and made sure I took care of it properly so I can, have retirement and all that stuff. Because, guys are dumb when they're young. And, he definitely put some safeguards in there so I wouldn't be too dumb.
Well, I know that one of the things you did buy was a new car, and the last I heard, you still had that car. Have you finally gotten rid of it?
I did. It was hard to get rid of it. When I made that purchase, I don't come from a flashy big background. So for me, I don't need a lot of stuff. So when I bought that truck, I knew full well I was going to keep it till it stopped running. And I literally did that. It stopped running in the parking lot of the dealership when I traded it in. It literally would not turn back on.
That's hilarious. How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. So you got a lot of mileage out of it. All right, couple quick questions here about football. One, do you think about NIL if you had been a player and you had NIL during that time? Because I know Danny was kind of outspoken about that kind of stuff.
I've thought about it. Would have been nice to have extra money. Yeah. It's a hard one for me. I'm not in a position of these kids that they're in now. For me personally, yes, it would have been nice to have extra money. At the same time, I still thoroughly enjoyed my college career without it.
Right.
I definitely think they need to put some safeguards on this because it's getting out of hand immediately. And if they don't, you're going to have a lot of haves and have-nots, and that creates other problems. They got to figure this out. I don't know. I'm on both sides of the fence on that, whether they should or shouldn't.
Yeah, it's kind of above my pay grade too, to try to figure out how they're going to schedule the new SEC, stuff like that. I can give them but it's not going to do any good. Last thing for you, Ed, what was it like to watch Florida be bad on defense last year? Because you hardly ever see that. It was rough.
It was heartbreaking. Like, I have to be honest, there's a couple games I think I had to watch via recording because I didn't want to watch them live. And, I'll be straight honest with Gator fans, so it is what it is. I didn't want it to ruin my day. And to watch guys, not for a lack of talent, but for a lack of knowing what to do or where to be, that is frustrating. That is inexcusable. You can have another athlete in front of you that's better than you, and he beats you. They're on scholarship too. I get that. You cannot lose consistently because you don't know where to be. That is inexcusable. And they have got to change that. That is inexcusable.
Well, I think they will. I know they'll be better because they couldn't be worse than they were last year.
It was ugly.
Yeah, but I think they understand it, and I think they're going to have a little bit better situation going on. They got those two big tackles in there on the transfer portal, and hopefully they're going to be great. And you were great, and you're always great, and I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. And we always love what you're doing. And if you want to give a plug out to your the physical trainers that you work with, the physical fitness thing, go ahead, plug away.
Okay, thank you very much, and I love Gator Nation. I appreciate you having me on. I'm at Mission Fitness here in St. Pete. It's a great gym, personal training studio. We have amazing personal trainers, whether it be for teenagers, your serious athletes, or somebody that just wants to be in better shape. We have anywhere from individuals with bodybuilding experience to an individual that is a competitive Ironman triathlete. So we can cover all angles, and we'd love to see you come on down and visit us. Mission Fitness on 9th Street in St. Pete.
All right, my man. My producer looked at me when you said people who want to get in better shape. What are you trying to say? Come on.
I mean, everybody can get in better shape, but
yeah, exactly. Ed, it was great talking to you, man. We'll see you down the road, okay, buddy?
All right, you take care. Thank you.
All right, Ed Chester, one of my favorite players, and one of the great stories in Florida football history, because we didn't even know that you could do that back then. And then it became commonplace, but all of a sudden somebody said, hey, Ed Chester's all right because he's got $1 million life insurance policy or a health insurance policy or whatever insurance policy. And he would have been a first-round pick. He was a great, great player. But what a great attitude. And also the story about him could have lost his leg. Whew, I did not know that story. That kind of blew me away. All right, we have to take a break. We have a lot of things to deal with when we come back, as we always do. We love doing this from the Shaq Allen Mercandani studio. We have the Adams Rib, Gators of the Week, this, that, and the other, your favorite, Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack, Hand Law, 3 things, and a winner for the Leonardo's Quick Picks contest for our last group of weeks that we've been doing it. We had a bunch of qualifiers, a ton of them. All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Another Dooley Noted Podcast. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brewer To Go. What gave you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place like this?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. to go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
This is Pat Dooley encouraging you to become a member of the Gainesville Quarterback Club, the oldest organization anywhere dedicated to Gator football. The club meets weekly during football season with an impressive list of speakers, including Bobby Stoops, Phil Fulmer, Steve Spurrier this year. Meetings are held at the Best Western Gateway Grand, and they have a special offer for you. The first 3 meetings you can attend for only $100. Believe me, this is a bargain, and trust me, you'll have a good time. Get off the bench, and it's time to score for the Gators by joining the Gainesville Quarterback Club.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shakow and Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shakow and Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Okay, welcome back to Another Dooley Noted Podcast from the Shakow and Mercadante Studios, presented by Titan MRI. Got a lot of stuff to get to in this third segment. Really appreciate Ed Chester for coming on board and did a great job. He's a great guy. Really one of the nice guys to deal with on this. All right, let us go to our Adams Rib Co. to go Gator of the weekend. And this is a little bit different one for you, okay? And the reason it's different is I just want to salute all the Gators who were in the Olympic Games. Certainly the ones who won medals, we've already saluted. We've tipped our caps. We've seen pictures of Caleb Dressel with the 5 golds around his neck at his Micanopy farm. We've seen other people that have celebrated. Bobby Fink, what a great story. All these stories were great. But anybody who was in the Olympics, and as a Gator, if you're a Seminole, I don't care about you. I'm just kidding. But anybody who made it, just because you didn't win, like, for example, Grant Holloway, people were, like, disappointed. He finished a disappointing second. He finished second in the world. In the world! He may be the second fastest man in the entire universe. We don't know there's anybody faster out there, right? There could be another planet out there where everybody's really slow. But my point is, anybody who went, anybody who medaled, great. If you've got a gold medal, terrific. You're going to make a lot of money off of it. All those things are great. But anybody who just got it, anybody who qualified for the Olympics, that's our Gators of the Week, presented by Adams Rib Co. to go, where you can go get some unbelievable food and pick it up, and it is ready in a jiffy, and you walk it out. And you can go home and put it on a plate and tell your wife, I decided to cook today. Nobody's going to buy that. All right, so we appreciate Adam for all the great stuff he does, and I'm looking forward to getting to football season for a million reasons. But one of the reasons is that we can have so many options, because we'll have football players and soccer players and volleyball players that can be eligible for this award. It'll be a lot of fun. We may even shift it up. We may just do something else. I've been thinking about it. Anyway, thanks to Adams Rib Co. to go. Does a great job. And the Adams Rib Co. up on Northwest 13th Street, obviously opened as well. And I need to get back in there, man, because I've been so used to going to the takeout place now. I need to get back in there and have a seat. Talk to them as well. All right, that's that. Leonardo's quick picks at Millhopper. We usually do this, and we kind of we qualify a bunch of people, and I know that it tends to be people that are aggressive and want to get in, and I try to put it out there on the different platforms, and to give Leonardo's at Millhopper some extra pub, because we love what Kyle does over there. Does tremendous work. And then, then we just pick one from a hat. So I did that, and we got tired of, I don't even know if I need to explain this anymore. I've explained it before. We got in a situation where we had a hat and there were names flying around. We find them on the floor and stuff. So I just wanted to do it in a hermetically sealed booth in Funk and Wagnall's porch. That is an old, that was Laughing, I think. Hermetically sealed jar in Funk and Wagnall's porch. If you don't know what Funk and Wagnall's is, it's a whole nother story. But we picked one name out. One name, and he needs to contact me. We still haven't had a female winner. We've had a lot of female people get in. We haven't had any female winners yet. So I'm hoping we will. But this week's winner is Charlie Cowen, or Cowen, Cowen. And all he has to do is contact me, and I will get him his prize. If he lives in Gainesville, we can meet somewhere. If he lives somewhere else, we'll mail it. You got a $25 gift certificate from Leonardo's, plus some other gift certificates, plus Nike hat, plus some other stuff. I got some other stuff in there. I'm always just deciding afterwards. So we'll start another one on Friday. On Friday, I'm pretty sure we're going to be joined by Robbie Andrew. I think that's going to be, we haven't had him on for a little while after we did our great SEC Media Days thing. So we'll have Robbie on, and we'll start a new Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks. And again, we're getting to the point where, it's going to be so much fun to pick what we want to do. What games do we want to do? Maybe the Friday one could be the Jaguars play this Saturday, I think. That could be it. It's football season, baby. It is football season. I made that point before. Media Days isn't the start of football season. August is the start of football season. When you've got a game in the month, that's the start of football season. All right. Next up, we want to do, and I talked to Alex about this. He loved the first one we did, loves the podcast, and it's great to have him on as a sponsor. Alex Wesley Construction. They do a great job. Love where you live is the motto, and I can tell you they've done work at my house, and I do love where I live. I ain't moving. My daughter's moved. She moved just this weekend. All right, the 12-pack, the Alex Wesley Construction 12-pack is an interesting one. Something I thought about. I actually did it as well for the WRUF site where I write, but I think this was fascinating because I was thinking about how the SEC is going to schedule, and we don't know if it's going to be the pod system. If it is the pods and scheduling only, I still believe they're going to go to no divisions, but they'll have these pods for scheduling. You play 3 teams in your pod, and then 2, 2, and 2 from the other pods, and then the next year you play 2, 2, and 2, or maybe you play 2, 2, and 2, and then you reverse them. The homes are the ways, however they work it out. It makes the most sense to me, and then we'll get into a situation, where you could end up with a 4-way tie for third or for second to get into the SEC championship game. It'll probably go based on the college football playoff ranking committee. Anyway, so I was thinking about what kind of schedule might Florida see. And I picked the year 2031. I think that's right, Evan, right? 2031. I was trying to remember what year I picked it. I didn't write it down here because of how hard the schedule already was going to be. And this is a schedule that I put together that is theoretically possible for Florida. Arizona State to open at home. Well, that's going to be cool. Sun Devils coming into town. That'll be kind of, well, who knows if Herm Edwards will still be there. That's 10 years from now. I don't think he will be. We don't know how good Arizona State is, but it'll certainly be interesting to see them come here for the first time. Missouri at home, second game, always tough game, but yeah, that's just the way I've lined it up. Third game at Tennessee. We don't know where they'll be, but still, you're going to Tennessee. Then at Notre Dame. Whoa. Then at Kentucky. Then Alabama. Are you getting excited or scared? That's the question. Then Texas A&M, and then finally Georgia. Oh, but it's not over yet. Now you got to go to LSU, at South Carolina, Oklahoma as your prelude into the FSU game. That is theoretically the schedule you could be facing. Now, I did put up another schedule where it was a lot easier, and it was still hard. It was still really brutal. This is the thing. There are so many levels of this thing because you're going to have SEC teams are going to cannibalize each other a little bit, but because their strength of schedules are going to be off the planet, they're going to be ridiculous. They're going to be absolutely amazing. You can lose a couple games. It's no big deal. It's going to be amazing. And the other thing is this, when we talk about, the reasons for the SEC wanting these two teams to come in, there are a million reasons. We've talked about it. But one reason is when you bring in those two teams, now all of a sudden, nobody's going to have a bad schedule. Nobody's going to have a bad home schedule. It's impossible. When you've got the options of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, Texas and Oklahoma, LSU, you're going to get somebody coming to your place, multiple teams coming to your place, and this is just going to make not only strength of schedules tougher, way tougher. Nobody's going to be able to compete with the SEC, and you're going to get people back in the stadiums, especially once hopefully we get through this Delta variant and the Omega variant and the Zeta variant. We get through all this, and eventually, when we have this happen, people are going to come back to the game. The people have been leaving the game. They want to watch it at home, but you're going to want to be there the first time Oklahoma runs in that stadium, right? When Notre Dame runs in that stadium, you're going to want to be there. You're not going to want to watch that one on TV, and that's what is really fascinating about this. So thanks to Alex Wesley Construction for the 12-pack this week, and we'll have another one next week. Eventually, it'll be my top 12. We had it last week. Got some response about that, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so that's it. Let's go ahead and go to this, that, and the other because it kind of ties in here. Of course, this, that, and the other is sponsored by Darshackow Insurance, by Ironwood Golf Course, and, of course, by Ballyhoo Grill. We appreciate all of our sponsors. All right. I was thinking back the other day to the first time I really met Greg Sankey. And it was in Phoenix. Florida was playing there in the basketball tournament. The NCAAs, it was a Sweet 16. Florida won to get to the Elite Eight and then lost to Louisville. But every night we kind of were the same guy. In a way, he's making trillions of dollars, but we were the kind of guy that wanted to sit at the bar, eat our dinner, and watch several basketball games at the same time. And we struck up this great friendship that, goes on to this day. And I was thinking about that the other day. And I was thinking, man, this guy could be the commissioner one day. He's really smart. So that's this. That is that he did become the commissioner of the SEC. I was so happy, sent him congratulations. We still text all the time. It's really been a great relationship. And it's good to know. It's good because I remember asking him for his cell phone that night. And I said, hey, can I get your cell phone number? And he was a little hesitant, because he didn't know me that well. But now we're texting back and forth all the time. So that's this, that's that. And the other, in this, that, and the other, is that he was just extended last week to a new deal that'll go through 2026, and he can be the commissioner of this league as long as he wants. He is the most powerful man in college sports. Usually the SEC commissioner is in the top 3. He's definitely number 1. Not only did he save college football last year, but this movement of getting Texas and Oklahoma may hurt college football as a whole, but it makes the SEC this dominant power, just flexing all the time. What do you got for us? Nothing. You got nothing for us. So it really is interesting what a great run he's had. I appreciate him and his friendship. I appreciate him being on the show, and we'll get him again. I mean, I let him kind of get through all the, he's been doing a lot of interviews, but we'll get him maybe right before the start of the football season, which isn't far away, as I keep bringing up. So that is that, and the other, brought to you by Darth Shackhow Insurance, Ironwood Golf Course, and the Ballyhoo Grill. All right, 3 Things is presented by Hand Law, a Florida law firm which helps clients with government. You can learn more about Hand Law by visiting its website, www.handlaw.law. I still can't say it either. www.hand.law. The firm is available for consultation in Jacksonville. All right, 3 things. We got number 1, quick complaint about the Olympics. Look, I know the ratings were abysmal for the Olympics, down ridiculous numbers. And people are upset. And I heard some people call our radio show and said it was because there's not a lot of patriotism. That's not what it is. It's because the new world we live in, where you have access to so much information on your phone. I mean, sometimes you can't help but find out things, that happen when they happen. And then you're not going to sit there and go, I'm going to sit there and watch this tonight. I think that is more than anything. This is the first real Olympics where we had so much technology. Well, it's the most technology we've ever had for Olympics. And I think that really hurt it. Now, the fact that the Americans had some disappointments, I mean, that certainly is a factor as well. But we still watched most of those, and we still had great success to enjoy. We had a U.S. Olympian win her 10th medal. We had Caleb Dressel win 5 golds. We had the Bobby Fink story. We had all kinds of stuff. And I know people are complaining, and one thing they complain about is the fact that there were so many commercials. And I don't disagree, but I complain about every sporting event having too many commercials. That's why I love football. Football, you got to come back and event. I mean, 3.5 minutes, okay, you got your time, go get your drink, go get your whatever. But they're still going to play, and they're going to play the game. And, they don't do as much of that. Anyway, what are you supposed to do if you're NBC? You paid a gajillion dollars for the Olympic rights. You got to sell it. And if you sell it, you got to run the commercials. You can't just sell it and say, hey, we'd like you to come on as a sponsor for $2 million. We're not going to run anything about you. We're not going to mention you. Come on. I don't think the Olympics were that bad. I didn't watch a lot of them, but a lot of the reason I didn't watch them is we were on vacation last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it was the last one, whatever it was. And we didn't have the cable to watch anything but NBC. Anyway, quit complaining about it. It's not worth the complaint. Let's just concentrate on football. That's all I want to do. All right, number 2, and this is appropriate. I have been trying to figure this out, how I became a fidiot. Now, I don't know if you know what a fidiot is, but a fidiot is a football idiot. Gidiots are Gator idiots. Now, Gator idiots are different from fidiots. Gator idiots just complain when they're winning games. Gator idiots want coaches fired when they score points. Gator idiots are different. And there aren't that many of them out there. A lot of people think I'm referring to a lot of people when I say Gidiots, but I'm not. Gidiots want Mike White fired. Okay, I'll put that in there. But I'm a fidiot. I'm a football idiot. I love football so much, I'm already anticipating the Boise State UCF game. First week of the season. Or actually second week, because as we know, any smart thinking person does not consider the first week to be week 0. It's not week 0. If it's week 0, why are you counting the game? Shouldn't count. Just say you're 0-0. Doesn't matter. But I'm already looking forward to things like that. I've already been thinking about that Kentucky-Missouri game in week 3, second week of the season for those two teams, and how big a game that is. I'm a nut. There's something wrong with me. And I've been trying to figure out why it started, and I think a lot of it is because I just love the game so much. I got indoctrinated to it early with my dad. And then my best friend through my whole life has been Robbie Andrew, who loves it just as much as I do, maybe more. And then we got kind of where we couldn't watch as many games as normal people because we were covering games all the time. Anyway, I'm going to have the greatest football season of all time. If Florida doesn't do good, it's not going to ruin my season. If they do great, it's going to make it even better. All right. Finally, number 3, I have this question for you. Is Miami back in football? There's a lot of sentiment that they are. I think De'Ara King's going to be okay. Obviously, he's 100% according to what they're saying. So is Miami back? Can you be back and open the season and be an 18-point underdog? I don't think you can. I don't think you can say we're back, but if we lose by 15, we cover the spread. No. You are an 18-point underdog right now to Alabama. And while I think you'll give them a better game than that, that won't make you back. You're not back, Miami. You still got a long way to go. All right, and I've got a long way to go to get through the rest of this week, and then we'll be back with you Friday. I'm pretty sure Robbie Andrew's going to join us. I got to double check because I haven't talked to him about it. And if it's not Robbie, we'll get somebody else because we got plenty of people. I know Chris Dorney's going to come on the show soon. James Bates. We're going to kind of recycle through some of the people that we went through from the time we started in December when the show began, and we had so much fun and so many great guests. We're going to continue to have some other guests, but we're going to recycle some of the best ones that we like. Peter Burns, guys like that, be on the show as well. But that should do it for today's show. Appreciate Evan for all the hard work he puts in, and appreciate everybody out there. Appreciate you guys for listening. And of course, our sponsors like the Shaq Allen Mercandone Studios. We love what they're doing. And of course, our title sponsor, Titan and MRI. We love Joe so much. Gave me a great MRI. Found out what's wrong with me. And hopefully we can get it fixed. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Until next time, I am Pat Dooley. I am deep. I'm way back. I am out of here.